Hello, everyone. Today I wanted to introduce a way to authentically assess one of the aspects of this is the eighth grade level Common Core standards for mathematics. Oh no, this is the Algebra 1 standards. Sorry about that. This is the Algebra 1 standards for mathematics for Common Core. Basically, within the section reasoning and equations and inequalities, it goes over representing equations graphically. It doesn't go over sort of what you can use these graphs for, or instilling an understanding of what these graphs can be used to apply in the real world. So what I wanted to do was introduce a sort of exercise that teachers could use to use that. So let's say that we were talking about having a budget, right? So we'll say that we need a budget. And our budget every week is $200. So we have $200 and we're going to spread that budget over a whole year. This is, of course, just an example. So that means that all of our spending, which we'll represent by X because we don't know that, must be less than $200. So in the classroom, we would have the students draw this graphically where we would plot this line of X is less than $200. The way you do that is you would have a point up here of 200 and you would draw just a flat line all the way across, and all of the space underneath and above the y-axis, because we don't have this would be negative dollars and this can be disregarded. So everything in this first quadrant is our points, and this bottom portion would be time, and this y portion would be dollars. Everything in this first quadrant is going to be our spending habits. So, over this time, considering we don't have any other source of income, we're just starting with $200 and going onward, this is how we would do this. And this is sort of just to introduce the idea, but then we can now do better examples. So let me clear this really quickly. So let's say our budget is $200 now per week. So every week we get $200. Well, now we could say X is less than $200 every week, and we'll represent week. So T will now be number of weeks. Now we can make a more interesting graph. So we can have our budget represented. So we're starting out at 0, and then our next point is going to be 1, 200. So this will be 1. Again, this is T. This is dollars. Our next point is now up here. Our next point's up here. Next point's up here. And we see we just have this linear growth line. And since every point is less than, it's all of this. So now they can see that over time, our amount we can spend is greater than. So if over 3 weeks, we want to spend whatever's right here, this would probably be about $300, we can do that. That's within our budget. Everything underneath this line is within our budget. So this sort of authentic assessment would work to apply these graphing inequalities in a certain way. And if we were to expand the classroom to talking about exponential graphs, so if we were to say 200 raised to the t, right? Or we'll say let's say it's 0.1 t. Then our graph, just to quickly go over, would look something like this. It would be exponential growth, and this exponential growth is the same thing. Everything underneath this graph is within our budget. So using these graphs is a great way to kind of teach budgeting and being able to see if the students can really understand the material and apply it to something in their life. All right, and just to go over this source that I used was the California Common Core Standards for Algebra 1, and I believe this just basically applies to all high school because you can take just Algebra 1 in high school. All right, thank you so much.